So this week's little trio is one of my favourite notes actually. Another very floral note. It's certainly a kind of a very enjoyable one, and it brings that kind of summer yellowiness. There's quite a few. I do have quite a lot of yellow scents, don't I really? It's Mimosa. Well, you can see from the title. Mimosa is actually something that grows around here. So it's one of the few kind of perfumey notesy flowers that I have experience with in real life, and it just brings such a, it's almost furry smelling, like a furry yellow floralness, sometimes a bit honeyed in that. It's quite lovely. So what I've picked, well, what I've picked for it will be in the video. I'm getting carried away with myself, aren't I? Yeah, that's it. That's Mimosa, isn't it? What else is there to really say about it? It quite often goes with things like osmanthus and things like that. But yeah, it's crack. Now, instead of choosing the Mimosa scent that is predictably I was going to pick for my kind of indie reflection, which is the greatest of all time, really. Not going to mention that in this video, apart from I did just now. But my indie choice is going to be Unter den Linden from April Aromatics. Now this fragrance, it's obviously about the linden blossom mainly, linden blossom, lime blossom or whatever, which does come through with that kind of, well, obvious kind of citrusy sharpness, quite not overly bitter. But it's definitely, it's a note that has grown on me over time. Sometimes it can be too much, sometimes not so much. But that's mixed with giving it its more kind of a sweeter, lasting kind of yellowness to it is the Mimosa. And there's also a little lick of honey in there. There's is a hay or vetiver, something dry and kind of like that in there as well. No, there's not hay in this one, it's vetiver, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It has a kind of dry goldenness in there with the linden blossom and the Mimosa, and it's just a very spring-like blossom fragrance. Mimosa seems to come here a lot later. Don't know if mimosas are blossom. I should stop saying these things, I don't know, shouldn't I really? But it is gorgeous, and obviously it's mainly all about the linden blossom. But like I say, that Mimosa is such a huge part of it, adding that kind of fuzzy yellowness with the honey, gives it this kind of the nectary feel behind the linden blossom, stopping it being too sharp. Anyway, that's Unter den Linden from April Aromatic. For my niche is from Amouage, and that's Opus 3. Which you might think is an odd choice. It is predominantly kind of a violety fragrance, this one. However, the Mimosa in it, well, it's kind of violet iris, woody notes, ambrette, but the Mimosa lights it up. I'm trying to think what's Nuit Bleu Pipé d'Automne also has Mimosa in that as well, and it works with the violet. It kind of contrasts it, and it adds this, again, fuzzy sunshine kind of feel about it. And it lifts it, and again, I don't know whether it always goes with honey or nectary feel. It does has that kind of yellow sweetness in there, like a nectar kind of smoothness. Now this one is, like it starts off, it's violet. It's kind of your not your usual, but you know what I mean, that violet iris kind of feel. And it's very floral. And then the woodiness and the kind of dryness of it all comes through. But again, the Mimosa stops it changing. Then you get this kind of library feel, like dry books with the flowers. And the Mimosa adds the sweetness of the paper, if you like, to me personally. So yeah, don't need to waffle. I spoke about this one so much. That's Opus 3 from Amouage. And finally, again, this It's weird, I've used it more as a supporting note throughout it, and that's how it kind of works. The last one is Dior Sakura. Now Sakura is a cherry blossom fragrance. What do cherry blossoms smell of? You know, they don't, to here they don't really have much of a smell. But this works magically actually. It has got mimosa. It might have a cherry blossom note in it. It's also got lilacs, which smell a bit violety to me. But again, that kind of fuzzy yellow. You know, the fact it's almost reminding you it's spring, and the little bit of the sweetness from it, and even actually a little bit of sharpness in there from it, all go together to create this kind of smell of spring, be it cherry blossom or whatever. But lilacs come through in very late spring, don't they? Early summer. Mimosa again, it's that kind of, to me it's late summer, and the cherry blossoms are spring, so it's kind of transitioning through them kind of seasons. And it's, you need to smell this. It's quite ozonic and fresh, kind of a crisp spring air, and the mimosa again adds that fuzzy beautiful yellow that is one of the first colours that comes through in a kind of a seasonal year, isn't it? Yellows and whites and stuff. So beautiful fragrance. That's Dior Sakura. So yeah, I don't need to really waffle on, do I? What's your favourite mimosa fragrance? Are you a big fan of mimosa? Did they grow near you as well, or is it just a happenstance that they grow in this really weird area? I think they might have grown where I've lived before as well. It's always a surprise to a British person that we get nice things growing here. Do you like these kind of blossomy things? I'm not entirely sure what mimosa is. They're like little yellow buds, aren't they? So is it blossom? Is it flowers? Are they fruits? I don't know. They're floral, so they must be flowers. Anyway, I'm waffling on and on. I'll just do a brief one. So that's my top mimosa fragrances, folks. Thanks, bye.